Hi, my name is Stacia Franklin. My major is early childhood education. For the future, I would really like to be a kindergarten teacher, but I specifically like all ages in the elementary. Like I would do kindergarten through fifth grade. But some of the dispositions that I personally possess that I think would make me a good teacher, a great teacher, is number one, compassion. I just believe that you sort of have to have that need for wanting to help children in a sense because you really never know what a student is going through and you never know what these children have going on at home, and sometimes you are the only person who actually cares about them. And there are a lot of times where children won't be able to connect in school properly because of the things that they're going through, and just being that person that they can come to when they really need it can be very, very important. Not only having just that level of understanding between you and the student, but just for them and their personal growth, and to be able to come in every day and put their best foot forward. And just sometimes having somebody in their life know that about them, it can really help. And just showing up. A lot of kids don't have people to show up and be there for them. So just like having someone there, I just think is very, very important. And I have worked with children in the past. I've worked in classrooms. I've done coaching for cheerleading, and I've had kids who have confided that information with me. They'd be like, "Hey, I'm feeling this certain way today because X, Y, and Z happened. Like, just so you know, like, I can't put my best energy out there. Like, this is all that I have." And being their educator, being somebody they look up to, like, now that I know just how they're going to be able to present themselves. Just now I have that understanding because they were able to trust me that, okay, they're not going to be able to give me their all today, and that's okay. And I think that is a disposition that I personally possess that I think is very important. And I think that could really help me in the future. The second one that I possess is the respect for diversity of others. That one is very important to me in the sense that I am an African American, so I have been in a classroom before and I have experienced things like segregation or not really feeling like I fit into a classroom, or even the sense that I had. I stood out in a classroom, and that obviously will make you feel like, well, I don't look like everybody else. So certain things just, I just have that understanding. And I've been in a position where I have had teachers physically call me out because of the color of my skin, and that just made me not want to come to class. That made me feel like everybody around me is looking at me differently, and now I can't put my best foot forward because being different than everybody sort of was a problem instead of just we're all people in a classroom. And I think that having my own experiences allows me that understanding that if I have certain kids in my classroom who are different, or they come from a different background, or they are a different ethnicity, or they celebrate this religion and they do that, I just think that having my own experiences has really helped me look at other people and think, you know what, at the end of the day, you are a human too. And I just think that that is very important as an educator, to just be able to respect other people's differences and who they are, and at the same time celebrate them instead of trying to bring them down. Like, yes, you're different, but that's okay. That makes you you. That is a special part about yourself, and it should never be something that you are ashamed of. And when you are in a classroom, you are going to have people from so many different places and so many different things, and everybody's going to be different. Nobody's going to be the same. And I just feel like having that equality in a classroom is very important, and just validating the students' feelings and who they really are and where they come from. Because I believe that everybody's differences should be celebrated, and it's something that we should appreciate, and nobody should ever feel bad because of what they believe in, or their skin color or their ethnic background. Like, nobody should have to experience things like that. So I just think that that is definitely a disposition that I possess that could be very important in the future. especially when having that inclusivity. And when you actually accept your students and you make them feel welcomed in your room, it it allows them to explore more and participate more. And at the end of the day, they're coming in, they're feeling validated, and they're able to truly get the education that we know they deserve, and they are able to put their best foot forward. So I definitely think that that is very important. Another one that I think that I possess that will be important one day is professional conduct. I think this, like, the professional development aspect of professional conduct goes hand in hand with curiosity, because I personally have that ability that, you know, I want to learn more, and I honestly get excited when it comes to, like, oh, here's something that I didn't know, and now that someone has taught me, I'm able to use that and move forward with it. Like, I genuinely do enjoy learning, because especially when you're in education, you deal with so many different things on a day-to-day basis, and you may not know how to deal with certain things, or you may not know how to come up with X, Y, and Z, or how to handle a certain situation. And you may take a class that gives you the exact thing that you're looking for, or even just one on one with a another educator, or just somebody else. You're like, hey, like, this is what I'm dealing with. Do you have any tips or tricks? And then they could teach you something that you never even knew before. So I think that that is definitely a way to develop professionally in the education field, and I think that that is very important. But also another thing is being a positive role model for these children, and sh- having that professional aspect in yourself. You are now somebody that this child can look up to, and they're like, oh, we see you, we see how hard you're working. You show off, like, in a professional way. You are able to give off a certain energy, and people can see it. So I believe that just having that part of yourself, you are showing these kids, like, you can do it if you put your mind to it. And having that just positiveness about yourself really gives them somebody that they can admire. And there are a lot of kids that you'll get to be like, I want to be like you one day. And if you're showing these children that there is anything possible, like, that is very important in my eyes. And I have honestly been that person again for other children. They're like, we see you. And I've had children come up to me and tell me that they look up to me and that they believe in me. And that honestly makes me want to be better. And I think that that is very important in a classroom, especially when it also involving, like, when you're a professional person in a classroom setting, you also have to take in accountability the ethical decisions that you are going to have to make on a daily basis. Yes, you can create connections with your students, but you have to know those boundaries. You can be somebody important to them, but when you are in a classroom and when you're outside of classroom, these children still look up to you. They still see the things that you were doing, especially when it comes to a certain level with things on social media. You have to be reminded that, yes, you as an educator have a personal life, but you are also somebody, again, that these children just look up to. So you have to kind of watch those aspects and things like that. Uh, Dispositions that I definitely think that becoming a teacher in the future that I need to work on includes advocacy. And the only reason I say that is because I have a strong voice when it is something that I believe in, like when I have a strong opinion on something, and I can promote it. But there are some times where, even if I do have that strong opinion, and I do have that loud voice, I still, just from my own experiences, people are really quick to shut you down, and people are really quick to hate on things that you are saying, even if it's anything positive. Just, there are people around you who are going to give you negative comments. And I guess I struggle with taking that in and standing up for certain things, because I have that overwhelming fear that people are going to say those things, even though I know that they're going to say them. It's just, I can't seem to advocate as much as I would like to with that anxiety, with that fear. So I think that is just something that I'm personally going to have to work on, just being able to be comfortable speaking in front of people and be comfortable voicing my opinion on something, no matter how hard I believe it and no matter what experience I have. I just know that one day I would love to advocate for my students. I would love to be there for them and do things like that. So that's just like my own personal struggles. Another thing I need to work on is reflection. And that only comes with the fact that I struggle with self reflection. It's just I prefer to do things and then get advice from other people. It's like, okay, so I did X, Y, and Z. What do you think about that? How do you think I can make this better? Do I need to change things like that? I do very well with constructive criticism from other people. I just struggle to give it to myself because it's like I need a second viewpoint. I need another set of eyes. So that's just another thing that I'm gonna have to work on. It's like, okay, I see that I've done this. Now, how can I make this better by myself? Like looking at this, rereading this, thinking about how this will impact anything else. Like I think that I just need to learn how to do that and really have myself understand the continuous improvement on whether that's an assignment or we have meetings in the future or I have lesson plans that need to be done. Like I just need to find that personal connection that I have and be able to look at it myself and be like, okay, you need to do this and you need to fix this by doing this. So it's just something that it's going to take time to work on. But I think before I am a first year teacher, it is something that I need to improve on. It's just a skill that will take time to complete. And then my third one that I believe that I need to work on more is having high expectations. It's again just something that is a personal struggle. And I think that it is really important as a teacher to set those expectations and to set those goals, not only for your student success, but for your success too. It just all comes down to you are one person and you have 20 to 30 plus students in a classroom, and there's a lot that goes through your head all the time. And having those goals set can really kind of help you. Okay, so this is where I need to be. How do I need to set myself up to get there? And I also struggle in that department is having things set in stone and having a list and having those goals and you know I need to achieve this by this time. What steps do I need to take to do that? So that's just another thing that again will take time for me to learn. I think that through these past couple of weeks I have kind of been improving that skill, creating a list and creating goals for myself, no matter how small or how big. It's just kind of setting me up for my future and how to positively impact that to my daily routine. Um, Lastly, I think that there are so many qualities that I think that you need to be a successful educator or a positive one for that matter. But I narrowed it down to top three, kind of based off of the dispositions. So, again, I definitely think compassion is very important for an educator. You, I mean, you really just truly make a difference in these kids' lives. And there are so many situations and so many people out there where you were their last, you were the only person who cared about them, and they really grow up remembering who you are and remembering the impact you made on their lives. And it's like these times are very crucial for people to find out who they are and what they want to do and what kind of person they want to be. And having that support system, having somebody who truly does care about their education and cares about how they're doing mentally and personally and educationally, that is very important when it comes to growth. And just being able to have that understanding with your students, I honestly really think that that is truly the number one most important thing. Another thing is piggybacking off of the curiosity aspect. I think that as a teacher, you should want to learn, and you should want to improve yourself educationally and just get an idea of things that you may have been doing wrong that you didn't know you were doing wrong, or just like I said earlier, just having those ideas and having those things that you can now use in your own classroom or use in your own way with however you plan on doing things. It's just being able to learn more to improve who you are as an educator. And also also willing to have that ability to sort of learn more is very helpful when it comes to advocating for your students. It's like, okay, so I have a student with a educational disability. Well, I don't really quite know how to help them. Well, if you have that curiosity to learn, you can now set yourself up for, well, okay, I might not know how, but I can take this class, or I can watch this or learn this or talk to my administrator about this. Well, now I have tips and tricks and a learning ability that I can now advocate for my student, and now I can now give them that equal opportunity in the classroom to learn just like everybody else. So that I also think is like very important. And then another quality to have, I think, as a good teacher is dedication, for sure. It's like you have to want it. You have to want to be there for these kids. You have to want to teach. You have to want to learn. You have to want to get up every day and make this impact and take the positiveness and share it with everybody. You have to want it, and you have to do what you can to get there. So I think that wholeheartedly having that dedication is very, very important, because it also gives you those opportunities, to develop who you are as an educator and how you can do things moving forward, but also dedicating yourself to those students. Like I said, I mean, falling back into the curiosity aspect and having a student who doesn't quite, you don't know how to teach them something because of a disability they have, and taking that initiative to learn something just for them. That is dedication. That shows you that would show me that as a teacher, you are doing what you can for your students. You are dedicated to them, and you are dedicated to their learning and their improvement and moving up in this world. And I just think that it kind of ties everything together in the aspect that as a teacher, you would do what you can to teach these kids and do what you can to make those positive impacts, because at the end of the day, those who say they want to be a teacher, or those who love teaching and have done it for so long, they do it for a reason. I believe that every teacher has their why, or every student who is trying to become a teacher. There was a time, or there was a moment, or there was a child that just made it all click in their head. It's like, you know what? I think I know that this is what I need to be doing for the rest of my life, and I would do everything I can to get to where I want to be and be that advocate and be that teacher that I believe that every other student deserves. So, thank you for listening.